I didn't particularly like facing left-handers based on my style as a left-handed pitcher. But real quick, why does it seem to me that managers, general managers, coaches assume that left-handed batters can't hit left-handed pitchers? Is it becoming more of a mental thing? Why is that?
Well, I think the game has created that case. Right. I think, like basically for years, it's you've got to prove yourself. And you know this, as a young player, you sat against lefties, and then all of a sudden you get established, and that one day you come to the ballpark, they go, you're in the lineup. Go get them, kid.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you get a hit, you might bump one, and then all of a sudden you get that confidence.
Is that what happened to you?
Yeah.
How about you?
Me too. And the biggest thing for hitting lefties, you got to face them. You got to be in the lineup.
Yes.
You can't have a feeling of, oh, I'm 0 for 4. Oh, I'm not going to play for 3 times against lefties. Then I'm going to play again. Then all of a sudden, now I'm not the same guy, right? A little anxiety, tension sets in.
That was my point about it being mental.
Got to play.
All right, so here. So let's go into. I got a little video rip of great left-handed pitchers that are obviously tough against left-handed batters. Okay, so I had to go RJ, right? I mean, we know what he's all about. Fastball, power slider. I mean, nasty, right? Remember Crucky in the All-Star game. Just straight kind of 2-combo pitcher. CC Sabathia, I know, he's a little older now, but he was nasty, right? 95, 98 with the nasty little slider. Tough on lefties. Primarily fastball in, slider away. Kershaw, right? Well, it doesn't matter lefty or right at him, but to me, straight over to the top, establishes fastball in, and then he's got the big Bugs Bunny curveball, right? That big 12-6er that I think makes him so nasty. This guy, come on now, Thome, you know that. Funk delivery, thrown from the almost first base side, and then he's got, again, the frisbee slider. So primarily fastball in, sliders away. Yes, there's some deception, and there's some kind of funk in his delivery as far as Chris Sale goes. But there you see a bit of the disparity. Pretty stark in some cases, certainly the 199, 224. These are premium pitchers, right? Randy Johnson, Hall of Famer, and as left-handers, they get the job done. But my question to you, and why I wanted to show that, what, in your opinion, I want both of your thoughts, because you as a 600-plus home run guy, a little bit different. You walked, you struck out a fair amount. You lifetime 300. You might have had a different approach. What was your approach against a tough lefty? I know you faced a few of those guys.
I wanted to be aggressive early. I did not want to get 0-2. I was a strikeout guy. So for me, and all those guys on the board are freaks, let's face it. But they will make mistakes. And with it, you saw Andrew Miller in postseason. I think Rossi hit a home run to center field.
Right.
They make mistakes. But what it is, you got to look, when you get in the box, you got to look to hit early. And that's what I wanted, plate coverage, and I wanted to hit that. If you threw a first pitch breaking ball, I didn't want to just take it assuming that I'd get a better pitch. And I think that's the key with facing lefties.
All right, real quick, because I don't hear Case. When you say you want to hit early, to me, that says as a pitcher, I'm going to jump early. I'm looking heater, and I want to spin early.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. I'm looking to hit early, and knowing what he's going to throw. He might throw that first slider for a strike that I could be sitting on, that once he gets me 0-2, that you'll never see that pitch again because he's going to bury it on the outside part.
A big thing that helped me out hitting lefties was, forget about the lefty. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. If I control the strike zone as a hitter, right, and it doesn't matter if Randy Johnson's throwing me a 93-mile-an-hour slider. If it comes into my house, you say, hey, come into my house, I'm going to get you. That's how you have to feel as a hitter, right? So I kind of tried to get away from, hey, this guy's a lefty. I got to a point in my career that said, irrelevant. If that ball comes at this angle and it's out over the plate and my vision says shoot you to left center, well, then I'm going to have success. But if I get, sometimes guys think, oh, man, lefty on lefty. You can't think that. You got to be able to control the strike zone, let the ball travel, and get the ball up. Right,
what made a left-hander tough for you?
A tough lefty for me were the guys like, that could really establish a sinker in on me, which would open up the plate away with that slider. So if a guy had a good two-seamer in and he could really get me leaking, as soon as he gets me leaking, bam, he's got me with that slider away. That's when a lefty was tough for me.
We said earlier, and it was interesting you said it, and I'm curious your setup. You were always pretty much on top of the plate. Where would you stand? Give us kind of a visual of Jim Thome's
I wanted to be on the white line, and I wanted to be slightly open. And when I was slightly open, if I laid my bat out over the plate, look at my plate coverage if I drop it.
So that's where you stood.
This is where I wanted,
so
but
do that again. Do that again.
But I was slightly open. I was on the white line. So my stepping point was not, it wasn't to close my hips off. It was actually a little bit out to the right of the mound.
Okay, that's fine. But do that again, because that was interesting to me. All right, stop right there.
Back.
Let me interrupt you. Your hands are over the plate.
Yes.
Your knob and the handle is plate coverage. Your barrel is in the right hand.
Okay, now what Charlie Manuel wanted to do.
Wish I'd have known that when you were playing.
What Charlie Manuel wanted to do in Ted Williams in his book, he always talked about hips and hands. One of the things when he put me on the plate and opened me up was the fact that he cleared my hips.
Okay.
So back in the day, I was a little off the plate and would step in.
Yeah.
Now look at my hips. I have no rotation in my hips. So getting plate coverage and being aware of the ball inside because of where I stood. That's and not necessarily always hunting the heater, but being aware of the heater inside.